It's 5:37 a.m. You wake up before your alarm, not because you're well rested, but because you've spent the last 6 years expecting someone to kick your door in. Outside your apartment window, East Berlin is quiet. Streetlights still glow through the morning fog, and the city hasn't quite come alive yet. To your neighbors, you're just another foreign trade consultant working for a Western company. That's the story. The truth is very different. Every conversation you have, every train you board, every stranger you pass, could be the beginning of the end. Because today, like every other day, you're a spy operating behind the Iron Curtain, and if you make one mistake, you won't be coming home. The first thing you do isn't make coffee. It's inspect your apartment. Before going to bed, you placed a single strand of hair between your door and the frame, an old counter surveillance trick. It's still there. Good. Next, you check a tiny piece of transparent tape hidden under your desk drawer. Untouched. No one searched your apartment. At least, not that you can tell. You finally allow yourself to breathe. Breakfast is simple. Black coffee, toast, a boiled egg, nothing extravagant. The key to surviving undercover isn't looking interesting. It's looking forgettable. You shave carefully, put on a gray suit that's intentionally boring, grab a worn leather briefcase, and leave your apartment at exactly 6:18. Not 6:15, not 6:25, 6:18. You've left at this exact time almost every weekday for the last 8 months. Routine builds credibility. Most people think spies go straight to secret meetings. Real spies almost never do. Instead, you spend the next hour trying to answer one question. Am I being followed? You enter a subway station, ride 2 stops, exit, walk 3 blocks, buy a newspaper you don't intend to read, cross the street twice, step into a crowded department store. Instead of shopping, you study reflections in the mirrors. A man in a brown coat appears behind you. You leave through another entrance. 5 minutes later, he's gone. Or maybe he's simply been replaced. That's the terrifying thing about professional surveillance. If they're good, you'll never know they're there. At exactly 7:31, you enter a small public park. An elderly man feeds pigeons near the fountain. A young mother pushes a stroller past a bench. A jogger runs by without looking up. To everyone else, it's an ordinary morning. To you, every person is a possible observer. You stop beside a bench and pretend to tie your shoe. In one smooth motion, your hand reaches underneath the wooden seat. Your fingers find a small magnetic capsule. You remove it, replace it with another. Total time less than 2 seconds. No eye contact, no conversation, no secret handshake. This is called a dead drop, one of the safest methods of exchanging intelligence during the Cold War. If one agent is captured, they can't identify the other. As you walk away, curiosity gets the better of you. The capsule feels heavier than expected. Someone left something inside, not just instructions. A roll of undeveloped microfilm. The mission has changed. As you leave the park, the roar of an airplane echoes across the city. You instinctively look up. It reminds you of another flight, 10 years earlier. Back then, you weren't a spy. You were a university graduate studying languages, English, Russian, German. You dreamed of becoming a diplomat. One afternoon, after giving a presentation on Soviet politics, a man approached you outside campus. He never gave his full name, only said he worked for the government. He invited you to lunch. The conversation lasted 4 hours. History, politics, psychology. Then he asked a strange question. If your country needed you to lie every day for the next 10 years, could you do it? You laughed. He didn't. 3 months later. Your training began. Hollywood teaches you how to fight. Real intelligence agencies teach you how to disappear. For nearly 18 months, you learned skills no one could ever know you possessed. How to memorize entire pages in seconds. How to recognize whether someone was following you. How to recruit informants without making it obvious. How to survive interrogation. How to keep your heartbeat steady while lying directly into someone's eyes. You learned that guns were failures. The best spies never fired one. If you needed a weapon, something had already gone terribly wrong. The instructors repeated one sentence more than any other. Your greatest disguise is being ordinary. At the time, it sounded boring. Now, it's the reason you're still alive. Back in the present, you slip the microfilm into a hidden compartment inside your briefcase. Whatever is on it, someone believed it was worth risking their life to deliver. Your next destination isn't your embassy. It isn't your apartment. It's an airport. By noon, you'll be on a commercial flight to Vienna. Officially, you're attending a trade conference. Unofficially, you're about to meet the most valuable source you've ever handled. And there's a very good chance someone already knows you're coming. By 11:40 a.m., you're seated on a commercial flight to Vienna. The cabin is quiet. Businessmen read newspapers. A family argues over window seats. A flight attendant pours coffee with a practiced smile. To everyone else, it's just another short flight across Europe. To you, it's the most dangerous part of the day. You can't destroy the microfilm. You can't hide it any better than you already have. And if airport security, or worse, Soviet intelligence, has identified you, there won't be a second chance. You glance across the aisle. A man in a dark overcoat looks familiar. You don't stare. You never stare. Instead, you use the reflection in the window. He isn't reading. He isn't sleeping. He's watching. Or maybe you're imagining it. Paranoia keeps spies alive, but eventually it also drives them insane. As the engines hum in the background, your mind drifts back 4 years. Your first field operation, your first informant. His codename was Falcon. He worked inside a Soviet communications office and passed along military documents every few weeks. For nearly a year, everything went perfectly. Then one day, he never showed up. 3 days later, the newspapers reported that a government employee had died in a tragic car accident. No names, no details, just another meaningless headline. But you knew. There had been no accident. Someone had talked. You never learned who betrayed him. And ever since that day, you've stopped asking yourself whether people could be trusted. The only question that mattered was, for how long? The plane lands in Vienna shortly after 1 p.m. Unlike East Berlin, the atmosphere feels lighter. People laugh openly. Tourists fill the streets. For a brief moment, it almost feels like a normal day. Your contact has chosen a crowded cafe near the city center, not because it's quiet, but because it isn't. Crowds make surveillance harder. You arrive first, order black coffee, wait. Exactly 7 minutes later, a woman enters carrying a blue umbrella, even though the sky is perfectly clear. That's the recognition signal. She sits at the table beside yours, not across from you. Neither of you says a word about intelligence. Instead, you discuss music, weather, travel, completely meaningless conversation. As she stands to leave, she accidentally drops a paperback novel onto the floor. You pick it up. She thanks you. The exchange lasts less than 3 seconds. By the time she's outside, the book in your hands isn't the same one she walked in with. Hidden inside its cover are photographs of a classified Soviet radar installation, information that could change military planning across Europe. One ordinary-looking book, worth millions in intelligence. You leave the cafe without rushing. Rule number 1, never act like you're carrying secrets. Halfway down the street, you stop to look into a bookstore window, not because you're interested in books, because glass makes an excellent mirror. The same man from the airplane walks past. No eye contact, no hesitation. But he's here, hundreds of miles from Berlin. Coincidence? Maybe. You turn left. He continues straight. Then, 30 seconds later, another man appears behind you. Different face, different clothes. Professional surveillance teams rotate constantly. You suddenly realize something. The operation may already be compromised. Your instructions were clear. If you believe you're being followed, abort the mission. No exceptions. You step into a crowded train station, blend into the sea of commuters. One platform, then another. You board a train moments before the doors close. Through the window, you watch the platform disappear. Neither man made it aboard. This time, you got away. At least, that's what you hope. The train carries you toward a safe house outside the city. For the first time all day, you're alone. You finally open the paperback. The photographs are still there. Success. But victory never feels the way you imagined it would. There's no celebration, no applause, no medals waiting at the end. If everything goes perfectly, nobody will ever know what happened today. History books won't mention your name. Politicians will never thank you. Even your closest friends believe you're attending a trade conference. That's the strange reality of espionage. The better you are, the less anyone will ever know you existed. By nightfall, you're back in your apartment. The briefcase is empty. The intelligence has already been passed on. You lock the door, remove your shoes, sit silently in the dark. Tomorrow, you'll wake up before sunrise, check the strand of hair behind the door, take another surveillance route, tell another lie, and risk your life for people you'll probably never meet. Because during the Cold War, the most important battles were rarely fought on battlefields. They were fought in cafes, train stations, airports, apartment buildings, and in the minds of ordinary men and women living extraordinary double lives. So the next time you watch a Cold War documentary, remember this: some of history's biggest victories were won by people whose names we'll never know.